I don't know if I'm the only person to notice this, but if you see a debate, if you watch a debate between Christians and Muslims and atheists about the existence of God, almost the first point of refuge for the theists is where did the universe come from? That seems to be the one they head for 9 times out of 10 nowadays, doesn't it? You know, if you head for a particular argument, you'd think you'd have an especially strong case, wouldn't you? That was going to be your strong suite. The sad thing is that for theists, the strength of this question lies in the fact that their answer is only about as crap as the scientific answer. No more crap, no less crap. None of the answers to this question are particularly edifying. They're all conundrums, they're all illogical. None of them make common sense. And that's why they feel that this is their strong suite. But how pathetic is that the best that you can achieve is this kind of no-score draw, you know? The YouTube user Sami Zaatari made a video recently asking atheists to disprove God, and at the end of his video he made this claim. Have a look at this clip.
I'm going to make a video soon just so I get rid of the straw man. I'm repeating myself as well. I will make a video that proves God. Okay? I'm not trying to run away from it.
So for a couple of weeks now, I have genuinely been looking forward to Sami Zaatari's video. I subscribe to Sami Zaatari's channel and I have been watching, looking out for this video to appear, you know. He is going to provide us with proof that God exists. It's going to be the end of the argument, it's going to be the end of the debate. You know, I don't particularly want to be a Muslim. I'd sooner shoot myself in the face than be a Muslim. But after he's provided me with his evidence, I'll have no choice. It would be intellectually dishonest of me not to. So how excited was I? How excited was I last night when this video came out? And look at his opening remark. Look at the certainty of his claim. Look at this clip.
Now, as promised, I'm going to conclusively prove the existence of God.
So there you go. Can you imagine? I see the beginning of this video and my excitement's cranked up yet another notch. You know, at last we're finally going to get some closure to this. We're going to get to find out the proof that God really does exist. Well, there are many negative emotions that human beings can suffer, and disappointment is one of those. Crushing disappointment is one of those that can really get you there, you know. This was one of those cases, I have to say. Let's have a look at what Sami Zaatari actually ends up having to say.
Question number 1. Did you create it? Are you the creator? That's a who. Are you the creator? You said no. Question number 2. Did creation create itself? Anything that comes under this is the what? Creation creating itself that just happened out of the blue, out of nothing. This is a what? This is, we say, what created it, and we say creation itself created it. But now if we rule this out, if we rule question number 2 out, which is the what, therefore it logically leads to a who for question number 3. So when atheists say, well, why does there have to be a who? I ask, aren't you paying attention to the first 2 questions? Because
when you say something like this, it's hard to know where to start with you. There's so many things that I could say. The first thing is that if I'd made an argument like this to show that God doesn't exist, Sami Zaatari would have ripped me to pieces. He would have driven me off YouTube. This is such a pathetic argument. Number 1, did I create the universe? Well, clearly, I don't even know why you felt the need to include that. That's just such a silly thing. Why didn't you ask if my next door neighbour? Why didn't you make that number 1? My next door neighbour had created the universe. I don't really get that. So number 2, did creation create itself? Number 2 is the one a lot of people are going to want to head to. You know that. And that's the one you really want to disprove. But why phrase it in that kind of way? You're making it difficult for people to choose it deliberately. You haven't said, did the universe create itself? No, did creation create itself? It's like me saying to you, Sammy, right, okay, we all know an elephant can stand up. But how is its weight supported? Do you support its weight, Sammy? Does God support its weight? Or does its weight support its weight? Well, which one are you going to pick? Nobody wants to pick. We all know the elephant supports its own weight, but you haven't said that. You said, does its weight support its weight? You know, you phrased it in such a mealy, ridiculous way that nobody's going to want to pick it. They're just going to look stupid by picking the response that, underlying the way it's worded, it's probably the one they want to pick. You did give a 4th case. Let's look at the 4th case before we really go into any depth with any of this.
If you want to say maybe aliens created it, that could be possibility number 4. Aliens from Mars or from galaxy, whatever, maybe they created it. But you see, I haven't seen any aliens around claiming to be the creators of the universe. But
so your problem with these aliens is that they've not come forth and told us that they've created the universe. But neither has God. Has he? You're telling me God has? If God has, why don't we all believe in him, Sammy? Why are we having this debate? There'd be no need to have this debate if God had done that, would there? Surely there's doubt within both cases, isn't there? I'm not buying the aliens thing anymore, I'm buying the God thing, you know? But it's the same case in both camps. Let's leave that now. Let's go back to the main point of me making this video, which is to just look at the core underlying principles of these questions you've asked. The problem. One of the problems of this video is that you blithely say, yeah, these are the 3 things. These are the only 3 things I can think of, so they're obviously the only 3 things, which is a ridiculous viewpoint if you ask me to base your whole worldview on. But let's assume that that's true. I don't want to look at that. I want to look at this notion of creation, because you talk about logic and common sense. Well, I'm going to tell you what I think of as creation. You tell me if it's different, you know. The first thing you have to do is to decide you want to create something, and you have to decide what it is you want to create. You have to have that idea of what it is you want to create, and it's only after you've had that idea that you can start to think about how you're going to go about it, or what structure that's going to take to fulfill the requirements of that idea. Only once you've done that can you actually start the process of creating something. Now, to me, that's the process of design and creation. I don't know any other way that it can be expressed. It is, in fact, a temporal process. It has a chronology, it has a flow of time. Events have to happen in a specific order. You can't build it before you've decided what you're going to build. You can't build it at the same instant that you've decided to build it, because you hadn't decided to build it before you'd started building it. Doesn't make any sense, does it? It's nonsensical. You can talk about the universe. How can you get something from nothing? It's nonsensical. It might be nonsensical, right? It might not, in our common understanding of the universe, that might not make any sense. But neither does creation in the absence of time. I think this is what, when Christians and Muslims talk about God existing outside of time and outside of space, they don't really mean that. When they envisage God's omniscient, omnipotent intellect, right, they don't really think of it as outside of time. It's still thinking, and to think, surely there has to be time. You can't think without time, can you? Well, maybe you can, but you don't know that any more than I do. It's certainly very, very counterintuitive, isn't it? It's no less counterintuitive than this idea that the universe started from nothing. You know, never mind this idea of creation. Can you even have creation? Does it even make sense to talk about creation outside of time? But can you even have intelligence and sentience outside of time? I don't see how you can. I really don't see how you can. The main point I want to make to you is this, though. For God to have created the universe, for any intelligence to have created the universe, it has to have existed before the universe existed. It has to be older than the universe itself. But you are telling me that time started when the universe started. So if time started when the universe started, nothing can be older than the universe. You've said it yourself. You can't be older in the absence of time, because oldness is something that requires time. Just fathom that one out for me, because I can't, right? It's almost making my head explode trying to work out how that can be the case. How God can have created something when he cannot have pre-existed it, and he cannot have pre-existed it because there was no time in which to pre-exist in. Just answer that, Sammy. You know, you tried to conclusively prove this argument, but you've just thrown up more questions than you've provided answers. So maybe if you can tie up a few of these loose ends, it would make your argument see a little bit tighter than it actually is, or it is to me. Thank you for watching this video, Sammy. Thank you for watching everybody else.